you're a man who loves Oakley and you're just wanting to know what our top picks are in their collection, well, stick around. I got them right here. I'm going to talk about them. Hello and welcome. I'm Eyeglass Tyler. Today we're going to be talking about our top picks in Oakley's men's sunglasses. Obviously, that is a very broad topic, and so what I tried to do was pick really something I think that encapsulates everything that's great about Oakley. Before we jump into the lineup, I want to just briefly mention why I think that Oakley is an amazing sunglass company. The frame technology, of course, that frame material, O-Matter, if you haven't heard of that, that is the frame material they use on the vast majority of their frames. Very lightweight, very durable. They have a lot of control over it as well. There are areas that you're going to find in some frames that are very, very flexible, even though it's that same O-Matter frame material versus areas in the frame that they need to be more rigid, but still equally super durable. Of course, there is that unobtainium. That's the grip material that you find in a lot of, especially their more sport-oriented frames. That is a hydrophilic material that actually grips better even as you sweat or as it gets wet, which is pretty fantastic. Obviously, beyond the frames, my favorite thing is the lens tech. You have their Plutonite lens material, which is very, very impact resistant, super safe, also nice and thin, nice and lightweight. But beyond just that lens material is the lens tech. Prism is fantastic. I really, really like Prism, and I think they nailed it because they have so many different options, some sport specific, some just all around general use that, obviously look super cool, but also have a really solid performance piece to them. All Prism lenses, by the way, are made with that Plutonite lens material, if that wasn't clear. So you can rely on that as much as I talk about the lens material. That lens tech is so rad, and you definitely should experience it at some point. I mean, if you're here, you know Oakley, you probably already have experienced it, and you probably love it as much as I do. Before we get into this, I do want to mention, if you are ready to order after this video, don't forget about SportRx. Definitely don't forget about our See Better guarantee, because with that, you're never stuck with something that you don't like or just doesn't work for you. You actually have as long as 45 days with them to figure that out, even if you get them in prescription. And we will take care of you no matter what that means on our end. You just reach out to us. By the way, we also have opticians who are very friendly, very knowledgeable, who would love to help you get it right the first time. So you can always reach out to us. Definitely utilize us as a resource for getting it right. Okay, let's talk about these frames. First up, we're going to talk about one of Oakley's absolute best-selling lifestyle frames. I'm sure you've heard of it, the Holbrook. We can't talk about amazing Oakley frames without talking about the Holbrook. This, I think, is just that most classic lifestyle piece. This is an amazing frame for all-around use, an amazing frame for non-sport specific use. It is actually so popular that it inspired a whole collection. They have all these different variants on the Holbrook, which are really cool. This is, of course, the original, but there are some out there like the Holbrook Metal, the Holbrook Mix. If you are interested in those other options, you can definitely check out videos. We've done videos on all of them, and you can get more info there. I'm just going to be talking about the classic right now. Really just a clean, timeless design with a few special accents. I mean, obviously those double rivets, the square Oakley logo, which also, by the way, if you weren't aware, this is available in a custom format. If you wanted to customize just the color of the rivets or the logo or different elements of this frame, you can actually do that. We at SportRx, unfortunately, can't help you with custom lenses. You'd have to do that directly through Oakley.com, but that's an option, and that's another cool thing about this frame. Of course, this is made out of that O-Matter frame material I was talking about, and you'll see it varying a little bit as we move on, like that flexibility. This is more of a straightforward, rigid design. They do still, of course, utilize their 3-point fit system, which means that you don't have to stress about these when they're on your face. You just put them on, you can forget about them. The keyhole bridge is a nice design detail that's going to actually help to accommodate a wider variety of nose shapes and sizes. Also helps to encourage airflow circulation to help kind of minimize fogging a little bit. But mostly it's a design detail that does have that functionality of being a little more versatile in fit. This is very much RXable. You can definitely put a prescription in this in both prism and non-prism lenses. We can do custom lenses for you as well. Lots of options, and very, very accommodating for even stronger prescriptions. This has an SFW of 132 millimeters, which lands you at a pretty solid medium fit. Next up, oh my goodness, a huge favorite of mine, the Mainlink. If you like the look of the Holbrook, but you need a little bit more performance functionality, you're going to love the Mainlink. This is, I think, just the thing that makes Oakley fantastic. Obviously, they do their really solid sports frames, which we'll get into, but this is an amazing kind of crossover, maybe you call it athleisure pair. You have all the grip, you have all the style, you have a nice large lens, but it's not as wrapped. It is still made out of that O-matter frame material, but in this case, you do have that grip. You have unobtainium all over the bottom side and a little bit on the inside of the temple, as well as on the nose. So this is going to help to give you a little bit more of that performance functionality. The straight back temples give you a seamless fit with hats and helmets. By the way, that of course that 3-point fit system is going to keep them perfectly aligned and on your face all day. This is also very RXable because it isn't as wrapped. It is that same like 6 base, like medium curvature to the lens. Very, very, very RXable. You can put a very wide range of prescriptions. This honestly has been a go-to for a long time for our opticians, for people calling in looking for something that has more sport functionality, but they've always been told no by their optical supply shop, saying that we can't do anything sport for you because your prescription's too strong. This guy can handle it. Awesome, awesome frame. The SFW on this is also 132 millimeters, which lands you at that solid medium fit. It is available in an XL. I've heard word that they might be getting rid of the XL sizings, but you never know for sure. They've definitely said that about things in the past, and then they kept them on, but something to be aware of. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, but maybe you have additional questions about Oakley men's sunglasses, or perhaps you have prescription needs, be sure to reach out to one of our very friendly and knowledgeable SportRx opticians, because they are eagerly awaiting your call. And for even more men's Oakley frame reviews, unboxings, or prescription Oakley content, you can check out our videos and our blogs. We'll put a link in the description below. Next up, the absolute best-selling frame, I think, of Oakley in general, but definitely for us with Oakley, is the Flak 2.0 XL. If you have watched any other video from us that is included in Oakley, it's probably this frame. It is, I think, just the pinnacle in sport wrap frame design from Oakley. It perfectly encapsulates that Oakley aesthetic with that sport functionality, nice good coverage, nice semi-rimless design. You have some of that technology that makes them amazing, like the interchangeable functionality. You have all of this unobtainium all over the temple. I mentioned the flexibility. You can see here, this guy is still that O-matter frame material, but a lot more flexible where you need it. So it helps to since this is using that straight back temple design, it needs to hold on to the side of the head. And so there needs to be a good balance of tension and grip without having there be too much tension and grip that'll cause a headache. And so that's a good example of how they are able to use this frame technology that I love, that O-matter frame technology, and customize it based on the needs of the frame and the design. So this is, like I mentioned, a more wrapped design. This is the first 8 base on the table here. The only other one, there's one more that'll be at the end. We'll talk about that in a moment. But this is a good wrap style, so amazing for sport use because it is going to protect you from the sun no matter where the sun is at, no matter what direction you're pointed. The XL on this, you hear Flak 2.0 XL, that is not actually referring to fit. It's a little bit confusing. Sometimes Oakley's naming convention can be a little confusing. In this case, XL stands for extended lens. So there is the Flak 2.0 standard lens shape, or just Flak 2.0. And then there's the Flak 2.0 XL, which is the more popular variant, which gives you a little bit more lens height, goes down a little bit deeper, and it gives you a little more lens width. and it includes what I call cheek form, where it kind of curves up and around your cheek. If you were at a more prominent cheekbone, it should then clear your cheek. Just gives a little more of a sport vibe too. Looks a little bit sportier, and definitely, like I said, the most popular variant. The other cool thing that I love about this frame is that Oakley, of course, you can get it in Prism, the Prism Lens Tech with all of the sport-specific Prism lens colors. And you can get all of those in prescription, which is amazing. But thanks to their OTD Edge 2.0 lens technology, prescription lens technology, you can get it in a really surprisingly wide range of prescriptions. Very surprising. And so this is another one of those ones that even some optical shops have, and they are not even aware of the prescription range that you can get this frame in through Oakley's lab. That authentic lens tech, that authentic Oakley lab, you can get in a very wide range of prescriptions. So if you wear a prescription, even stronger prescriptions, reach out to us. We can tell you if it will work for you, because there's a good chance that it will. This is absolutely a big time SportRx favorite, and actually a Rexy's winner. Every single year this has won a Rexy because it is just such an amazing frame. This has an SFW of 135 millimeters, which lands you in that medium to large range. I think it is a really good candidate for the term one size fits most, because it really is super versatilely fitting. So another win for the Flak 2.0 XL. Next up, we have the Portal X. We have up until now been dealing with frames that have been in the lineup for quite some time. The Portal X is a newer edition. It hasn't been around for as long. It's still, I mean, a little bit. It's like a year-ish old. But all these other ones are like 5, 6-ish years old. So they are established, really, really solid styles. This guy's a little newer, but an immediate favorite of ours, and an awesome frame. Again, if you're looking for kind of more of that active lifestyle, that athleisure option, this isn't quite as wrapped. It's a little more wrapped than the earlier two, the Holbrook and the Mainlink, but not as wrapped as the Flak or the frame that we'll talk about next. It's more of what I would call a mid-wrap, but this thing is chock full of other performance features. Really big lens here. Nice, large, good amount of coverage lens, which is a good feature, a good design for a wide range of sport uses. So again, a really good crossover pair we have here. Tons of grip, lots of grip, of that unobtainium grip in the temple, especially on the side where it touches the side of the head, a little bit where it touches the top of the ear. But my favorite thing is this nose piece, and I'm seeing it on more and more frames as they're expanding their lineup. And I love it, and I hope they keep using this design because it's fantastic. It comes in a few different size options, which is really cool. You get 2 additional nose pieces that are going to be different thicknesses to help accommodate a wider range of nose bridge sizes and shapes. This nose bridge design is actually an evolution of their, what they call their MNP, their modular nose pad technology, which is really cool. They again had multiple different sizes you could clip in, but it was plastic. In this case, it's unobtainium, so it grips way better. It's also designed as more of like a saddle style bridge, which I absolutely love, because a saddle style bridge is going to help to disperse the weight a little more evenly across your nose to make it more comfortable. But also there's more surface contact area, which means better grip, because it's making contact with more places on your nose. Therefore, it can grip better. An amazing frame that we have in the Portal X, and has been on my recommendation list really since it came out, and I've only heard good things as feedback. Really, really solid all-around frame if that's what you're looking for. Very much RXable as well, thanks to it not being that really severe wrap. It is more of that mid-wrap. Solid frame. Can't say enough good things about this frame. It has an SFW of 136 millimeters, which lands you at a large fit. And last but not least, we can't be talking about Oakley without talking about the Radar EV Path. This is that just absolutely classic shield design. You can't get more Oakley than this, I don't think. And there are a lot of people wearing this frame and variants on this frame that won't ever wear anything else because it's an amazing frame. I just don't think it would be a true Oakley lineup without a shield in the mix. And that radar design is just so classic. You are getting maximum coverage thanks to that contoured 8-base design, which is just unrivaled in terms of your visibility, your coverage, your protection. Huge lens. It doesn't get bigger than this, really. And also nice that it's vented, which is going to help to minimize fogging. It's going to help to just encourage airflow to keep things moving. It is, of course, made of that O-Matter frame material. Again, a little less flexible than the Flak 2.0, but still nice and flexible. You have solid hinge design, and I'm just realizing now it's something I should have mentioned with all of these other frames. And you probably know this if you're familiar with Oakley, but they have this screw-free hinge design that allows the temple to actually pop in and out in the event of them getting squished. If you were to put too much pressure on them, the temple actually just pops right out and you can just snap it right back into place, which is really cool, especially because they're able to find a good balance between not having a screw, but also not having floppy temples. They don't fall closed unless you push them. And I don't know, just a really good design. And I think it's amazing that they do it in so many different frames and that it works so well. So that's definitely something that I find to be noteworthy. Lots of unobtainium on this, of course, wrapped all the way down the temple, and a really large nose piece on this, which again, I love because it is a little more of that saddle style nose bridge. Might not make contact with your entire nose bridge just because of how high that goes, but still it's going to help a ton with grip. It is super soft. It's super comfortable. It'll help to absorb impact as well. If you were, heaven forbid, hit in the face with any kind of, anything really. Awesome frame. You can get a wide range of prism lens colors and lens options in this, not in prescription. So here's an interesting thing. They do offer this frame in prescription. They call it a Sport Shield implant. So typically you can't get a prescription in a lens like this because the lens is gigantic. It's one solid seamless piece. Where do you put the prescription lenses? You have two eyes, you need two lenses. You can't just have one lens that is going to work for both of your eyes, which almost very likely have different prescriptions. So what do? What they do essentially is they cut holes in the shield and then they use the shield as a frame, and then they mount the prescription lenses in those holes cut into the shield. They do a really good job of it. It works really well functionally. Some people don't like the look so much because it does kind of lose that seamless aesthetic, but functionally it's fantastic. However, downside is the lens color options are much more limited. The other downside is right this very moment, they are currently not available. So check out the timestamp on this video. It might be that they are back in stock or back to being available, but I'm not sure. But anyway, reach out to us. Our opticians would love to help you with any questions you may have. But just so that you know everything that's available and how they make this, there you go. Also, this is interchangeable. You can have multiple sets of lenses and just the one frame chassis. I think I touched on that with the Flak 2.0 XL as well, but do keep that in mind. That's also interchangeable. Really cool. You can have different color lens colors for different sports or different uses. Very, very cool. The sizing on this has an SFW of 140 millimeters, which lands you at the men's large, and I'm verging on extra large fit. Good frame. Great frame. That wraps it up for our top pick for men's sunglasses from Oakley. If you are very familiar with Oakley, I probably wasn't presenting anything new to you, but hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it was valuable or interesting. Mostly, hopefully you have some new top contenders for your next pair of sunglasses. If you are liking any of these styles and you're ready to shop them, stick around for a moment longer. We'll have an easy to click shop now button. And if you are ready to order, again, don't forget about that See Better guarantee. I really think it gives you a ton of peace of mind. And if peace of mind is your thing, I will mention once again, our opticians would love to help you get it right the first time. So definitely use this as a resource. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this is interesting or valuable information. If so, throw us a like because that helps us out, you guys. You can find relevant videos over here. And if you are ready to shop any of these awesome styles, right there, click that real quick. It's super easy. And if you are looking for more interesting and fun and exciting content, you should check us out on our social media outlets because I think you'll like it. Otherwise, I totally wouldn't even recommend it. Check us out.